Hey guys, in this video I want to go over entry pathing on train. These are examples that come from NaVi, mousesports, and G2, so let's get started. So this first one, we're going to see Perfecto and Electronic come out of T-Con in an outer hit. Perfecto, he's going to be the first one out. You're going to see that he's actually going to take this lane as opposed to the Olaf lane. And the reason why he takes this lane here, the sandwich lane, is because he actually has more options to be able to fight and get space for his teammates. So he's able to fight towards Evox, he's able to fight towards top red, he's able to fight towards top green. Whereas if you come out towards Olaf, your only fights are really towards Hell and top green. So by him coming out on this side, he's actually able to get more space for his teammates, both from T-Con and for the players that are ladder. So when Perfecto first comes out, notice that he's hugging this blue train as much as he possibly can. The reason why he does this is because if there's a player who's playing on top of 6, this player actually has to swing out towards the edge to be able to spot him. He's not going to be able to spot him if he just plays towards the center of the top of the train. So that's why Perfecto's hugging this as much as possible. And notice how when he crosses this gap here, Plopsy is actually posted at the gap. Perfecto is going to jump over so that Plopsy doesn't really have a clear shot on him. You're going to see Electronic does the exact same thing. He's going to jump over so that the player who's holding that angle doesn't have a clear shot on him. Next thing you're going to see here is that Electronic, he's actually hugging this red train. And there's a couple of reasons for this. So when he hugs this red train, for one, if there's a player who's playing on top of green or top 6, he has a wider angle, a better angle to be able to take this player down. But additionally, if there's a player who's playing at this spot here, if he spots down these lanes, the spot that Electronic is at, where he's hugging the red train, this player would not be able to spot him. So that's the real difference between going on this train compared to this train. When you're on the blue train, if there's a player who's here, who's looking down, he'll be able to see you. But if you're on this red train, this player won't be able to see you. So that's the real key here. What we're going to see next is that Perfecto is just going to swing out towards the player Hell. Electronic's going to pass through the smoke. And I want to highlight Electronic's pathing, particularly towards the bomb train here. Notice how he doesn't actually just go forward. He actually moves more to the side and then moves towards the bomb train like this. And you're going to see why in a bit here. So first things first, we want to talk about Plopsky. When he's spotting this gap, you're going to see that Perfecto jumps over. Doesn't have a shot to be able to take him. And as well, I want to highlight the difference between the blue train and the red train. So when you're on this blue train, once again, if the player is top 6, he has to swing out to be able to see you. And as well, if there's a player right over there, he'll be able to have a clear path to be able to see you. However, if you're on this red train, you have a wider angle on the player top 6. And as well, that player who used to be here, he cannot see you anymore. He has to actually move all the way up to be able to see you. And as well, Electronic, the pathing that Electronic takes actually prevents him from being seen from a player who's boosted from Z. So notice that Electronic, more typically when players spot from this top Z area, they're expecting a player to come out over here. But because Electronic moves here in this direction, this player who's top Z, he doesn't actually see him. And it allows Electronic to take this particular pathing where he goes on top of the bomb train and allows him to actually spot a player who might be playing on top of Z. And this player probably wouldn't expect that a player would just go up on top of the bomb train like this. So this next example is going to be a straight B push. You're going to see that Amanak, when he comes out, he's actually hugging this right wall when he first makes contact with Flusha at lower. And this is very important because by him being on this wall, it prevents Flusha from being able to re-peek, as Amanak is basically given a bunch of space for his teammates to be able to take him down if he re-peeks. Notice how when Amanak, when he comes out of this particular choke point here, he jumps, right, to make his hitbox harder to hit. Next is going to toss the smoke down towards the Molotov, and Flusha actually ends up getting taken down. And what you're going to see here next is that Amanak, when he's coming out and he wants to challenge towards Z, notice that he's taking the wide angle as much as he can. If he takes a close angle, this player actually has the freedom to be able to peek out a little bit further. But because Amanak is peeking out wide, he's able to take down Golden as well. And that's really the key thing, is that if you're going to be fighting from the sidewalk area, that you want to take the widest angle you can on the player Z, so that if you have teammates along this side here, this player Z won't be able to kill them without taking contact on you first. So you can see this from Flusha's point of view. You see that Flusha, as soon as Amanak crosses over towards this side, Flusha no longer has an angle to be able to fight this. This is going to be an inner pop, and I want to highlight what all three of these players spot. So what we're going to see is that when Boomich drops down, he's spotting for anybody who's going to be peeking towards the top pop. Anyone who's playing on top of that spot. You know, see that simple. He's going to be posted on Z for the Z rotate. And notice how Boomich, when he actually first drops down, he's on this very left side to be able to get the best possible angle of the player playing pop. And when Simple drops down towards Z, he's taking this angle here so that anyone who peeks from Z, they're taking contact with Simple first and not Boomich. Notice that Perfecto, he's on this left side once again, and he's spotting towards the bottom of Pop. So that's very important. So when you're coming down this lower ramp, always have your operator on the right side to post up on Z to give him the widest angle. And as well, the players who are responsible for taking down the players on Pop, get them on this side here on the left. You're going to see this from Rush's point of view. You're going to see that when Boomich drops down, he's not really expecting him to be this wide out. He ends up going down. So this next one, we're going to see a straight ladder swing. So I want to highlight what all three of these players are focused on when they first come out. So when Frozen comes out, he's actually going to be focused on fighting the players that are close to right. And then he swings out as much as possible so that he gives space for his teammates to come out as well. And you see that Woxic, when he comes out, he's actually focusing more on the close left area. And then when Rops comes out, he's the third one trailing. He's actually focused on taking all the long range fights. So that's generally the formula you want to have when you're coming out from a ladder swing. Your first player will come out here. He clears the close right. Your second player comes out. He clears the close left area. And your third player comes out and he's clearing all the far angles. And this is something that you can do even if somebody throws a smoke down. You can see that Boomich, he tosses the smoke down and he just starts focusing on T-Con, not expecting that the terrorists are going to push through the smoke anyways. So right here it's going to be an Ivy take. What we're going to see is that Electronic and Boomich, they're first going to post up. So Boomich is going to go on top of the dumpster, and then Electronic's going to peek down low. They're both going to double peek it, allowing Simple to be able to set up with his op. And now at this point, Boomich and Electronic, they're going to transition towards scaling up on this side of Ivy. And what's going to happen is that Simple is going to watch the right side, while Boomich and Electronic are going to spot the left. And as they start moving up, notice how Electronic, he's actually playing anti-flash the entire time, while Boomich is playing, he's just clearing all the angles. And now at this point, they're actually going to be able to take a fight. And what I want to highlight is that Electronic is actually playing behind this little corner here, so that even if somebody actually peeks him from this side, they're not necessarily going to see Electronic here. So Boomich is able to get a couple kills. Electronic playing in this corner, he can play anti-flash. He's not gonna be susceptible to anything. After they get those kills, they're gonna start posting up. Simple's gonna start posting up towards the ladder side, the longer range angles, while Electronic's gonna post up on the left side, where these angles are a little bit closer for rifles. So what I want to highlight here once again was that when Twist actually peeks out here, he only sees Boomich. He only really sees Boomich. He doesn't really see Electronic because Electronic is behind that little corner. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, please drop a like and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more content. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.